Hey there, today I'm going to show you how to make the cake parts in this kind of cute and trendy Topsy Turvy cake that I've got on this card. And I'm going to show you how to do that. It's kind of easy, it's kind of fun, and it's a great way to use Cake Shop and Cake Shop 2, the new sets from Mint Motif, which will be out on July 14th. So what I started with was these stamped pieces. Then you can see they're just the straight up stamped pieces. So I have used the largest cake bottom sides, and I stamped a bottom line, the sides, and a top line. Did the same thing for the middle and the top. Now I did this to save a little bit of time because I wanted to show you quickly how easy it was to make a Topsy Turvy cake. So here's the straight line from Cake Shop 2. This is for the biggest cake bottom, the biggest piece, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink it. And it's a very small image, so you don't need to put a whole lot of ink on it. And what I'm going to do is I am going to take and I am going to line up this corner of my stamp with the top corner of this side, because that's the way I'm going to angle it. And then I'm just going to stamp it on whatever angle I want, and that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp that. You don't have to push very hard. And there we have our angled line. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut that so that you can see how the piece looks. I'll try to leave a little bit of an edge. Okay, so now we have our bottom part. And I want this piece to sit on top of it. Okay, but I want it to have the same angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to kind of line up my cake just a little bit over the top, as you can see, because then I'm going to be able to use it as kind of a guide to help me where to put my stamp. So here's the middle line, and I'm going to go ahead and ink that up. This is for the middle, the cake middle, and this is in Cake Shop. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm going to follow the angle. So I'm going to line up this corner with the bottom corner of the cake, and I'm going to use this as a guide to help me get about the right angle. And you know what? I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to stamp it. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim it. And when I cut it, I leave just a little bit on the outside edge. Maybe I'm going to trim it just a little, just enough to give it some dimension. Okay, so let's see how those turned out. Well, yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Okay, the middle one's going to be a little different here because we're going to want this to be topsy-turvy also. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to ink up my middle line, and then what I'm going to do is I want the angle to go the other way. So this time I'm going to start this side of the stamp with this corner so I get the angle going the other way. Happy with that, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp. Once again, I'm going to just trim away. Got a little more trim than I wanted. There we go. So now you can see I've got my middle piece there. And I'm going to have the top be straight, but I want the bottom angle to match up. So once again, I'm just going to kind of slide this up here just a little bit. Help me as a guide. And I'm going to use the smallest line, the line that helps create the top layer of cake that's in Cake Shop. And I'm going to take this side of the stamp to this corner of the sides, and I'm going to stamp my angle, and I'm going to slide that down, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get that corner. I'm going to stamp and trim that off, and there you can see I've got a topsy-turvy cake. Kind of fun. And there's my Topsy-Turvy cake card. Move it so you can see it a little bit better. Well, I hope that looks kind of fun. It was fun for me to do. Thanks so much.